Say, man, for those select few that are already initiated, you should already know what this is. And for those of you that aren't, just chill. See, what I'm always trying to get everybody to understand is everything is vibration. So, it ain't nothing else to do. Just vibe. Yeah, say, man, if any of you are going through any dark times, if you don't reach to a point where you feel like you engulfed in darkness, this is my invitation for you to allow me to be your beacon, man. See, what I'm here for is to be the smile on your face, man. So in that case, you better smile. See, we kind of in some dark times, man. But what we tell you all the time, man, pressure makes diamonds, man. You turn a cold into a diamond. When you pressurize that darkness, you become something at the rim. Something that can't be stifled. And that's a power in itself, man. Don't ever let the darkness take over your life, man. Cause you always got me. And at some point in this journey, man, y'all might realize that you're ready to open up your ear and let me crawl into your mind. One time. Now rock. Life is a real. See, but the fortunate thing with that is, when life becomes a bitch, then you gotta harness your inner pimp. You understand? Put on a track and make it work for you. That's what I'm trying to teach you. I'm giving you free game, and the game is to be sold and not told, man. I just hope hopefully one day I get my flowers while I'm still here. Before I become engulfed in the darkness. I couldn't even say it. To get about the say, man, what it was. Y'all tuned in with Priceless Knowledge yourself. And this right here, this ain't nothing but some cosmic insight, man. And I hope everybody doing good, man. I hope everybody chilled out, everybody vibing. But I also want everybody to understand that I meant what I said, man. If at ever any point you feel like you engulfed in darkness, man, I want you to allow me to be your beacon, okay? Allow me to be the smile on your face. That's what my purpose is. Until you have learned the lessons that I'm here to teach you. And you realize that, man, you should have never let nothing steal your smile in the first place. When life becomes a bitch, you become a pimp. Put it on the track and make it work for you. You feel me? Become a madam. Run the show. So, this right here, man, this a little something about those people that have the black moon Lilith in the 5th house of their natal chart. Yeah. And before we actually go there, man, what I'm going to do first is, if you don't know my styles, I'm going to give y'all a little bit about the energy that comes along with Lilith. I'm going to give y'all a little bit of the mythology that comes along with her and how it might affect you. Then after that, I'm going to give y'all a quick breakdown of what the 5th house of the astrological chart is actually all about. Then after that, we're going to bring it to a climax, which is actually what I do best. So, without playing anymore, you know what? I'm not going to stop playing. But without wasting any more time, and without lying anymore, let's get it cracking, okay? So, Lilith. You know, Lilith is really the oldest story ever told, because Lilith was the first woman ever created. Lilith and Adam were created at the same time equally. You understand? Yeah. Not Eve. Lilith. You know, for anybody that thinks, you know, that women are supposed to be subservient to men, or that, you know, femininity is the weaker of the, you know, of the energies, you're grossly mistaken. And that's what Lilith is here to teach you. That's what Lilith is going to teach you at some point in this life. You understand? But with the mythology, you know, all was good in the hood until it came time for Adam and Lilith to consummate their relationship, you know, until it came time for them to lay down and get nasty. Because it was at that time that Adam told Lilith, you know, lay down so I may lay on top of you. But you see, this ain't Eve, and she ain't submissive. So she said, nah, player, you lay down so I may lay on top of you. And we know that Adam, Mr. Adam ain't having that. So there was a great calamity, and the angel of the Lord had to come down and sort things out. And when that happened, immediately sided with Adam, which Lilith was immediately dejected. She immediately felt disrespected. So she immediately dipped out. Okay, because she wasn't going to have it either way. And she became to become many different things in many different mythologies. Some would say she's a demon that, you know, steals babies. Some would say that she's the seducer of men to their demise. Some would say that she's Satan's consort. Some would say that she's the mother of all demons. Okay? But I think that's a bunch of hogwash. Okay? Because all it is strong, feminine, independent energy, and it ain't submissive. Is it manipulative and sexy? Yeah, it has to be. It doesn't have brute force to work with. Okay? But it ain't weak. You know, that's the thing about that. And that has a lot to do with how this energy manifests, but we'll talk about that in a minute, okay? But back to the story. So that's kind of what Lilith has going on. Now, Adam, he felt, you know, sad, you know, lonely, po little tink tink, you know, he got to have him somebody. Adam might have been a Libra. But anyway, you know, he's sick. And so the Lord immediately puts Adam into a stupor, takes one of his ribs, and creates Eve, who is of Adam, made for Adam. Understand? And so there's two manifestations of that female energy. What you do with it is what you do with it. And there's not one that's wrong either way. But understand that you can embrace either one. So that's just something to think about. So when it comes to astrology, in each one of our charts, you know, there's an indicator of dark karma. And this is kind of where Lilith becomes a factor. And like the nose, this ain't really a real celestial body, but it actually represents a certain point or aberration in the chart. And it really helps to understand where certain provocations, where certain temptations, turn-ons, fears, trials really kind of await a person. Okay. And it could represent the darker or shadow side of our personality, as well as the type of energy that could put us in great states of trepidation. And it's also kind of manifests differently, you know, when it's in masculine or feminine energy. Or I really like to think of it like this. If you think of Lilith energy as dark and bad, then it's going to be dark and bad. If you have a problem with feminine energy and you think it's weak, then you're going to have problems with this energy. And it's going to manifest, you know, pretty bad for you. You're going to have to face some of the lower manifestations of this. But if you understand that femininity is strength, and you also understand that masculinity don't have nothing to do with being male or female, and femininity don't have nothing to do with male and female, then you'll understand a whole bunch of things about spiritual energy, about energy, period. You feel me? You feel me knocking? You should definitely let me in, man. Hit that like button right now. For real, man. That's what you should do. And so, you know, I also want you to understand that, you know, Lilith represents that shadow side of us, like I said, man. And people always want to think of the shadow side as something that's bad or negative, but it doesn't have to be that. Integrating the shadow is understanding that part of yourself and understanding that there's so many times in your life that it might have been your shadow that got you through, that helped you survive. I know it's got me through. You know what I'm saying? You know, I'm talking about that Walking Dead when Rick had to bite that dude's throat out type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? I don't lose. I meant it when I said, if you ever see me hiking, or you are hiking yourself, and you see me in the forest, and I'm being attacked by a bear, your best bet is probably help that bear. And you see, I'm not laughing. Still not laughing. But anyway, man, let me also tell you that there's times when, you know, the black moon Lilith is strongest, and that's in years of multiples of 9. And I'm not talking about 1909, 1918, 1927, 1936, 1945, 1954, 1963, not all that. I'm talking about in 9 years from after your birth. And, you know, it's then when she traverses the whole zodiac and you have that Lilith return. And it's also in those times that, you know, you might face some fateful events, or some would call it a period of reckoning, where you're going to have to look yourself in the mirror and deal with some things that's going on, man, the darker side of yourself, and either integrate it or get rid of it. And, you know, maybe nothing will happen because you already integrated it, and maybe it's just nothing going to happen because you didn't allow it to affect you. Because just because you're built like that, you don't have to build like that. But who knows, man? And, you know, because I'm not about predictions, I'm about self-awareness. But let me also say that in Greek, this is known as the black moon Hecate. Okay? Somebody asked me if this was the asteroid Hecate I'm talking about. No, I'm talking about the black moon Hecate. I'm talking about the black moon Lilith. Understand? So when we talking about the 5th house of the astrological chart, you know, with the 4th being all about home and your roots, the 5th is where you kind of burst onto the scene in your full motherfucking glory, man. You understand? This is where, you know, your ego comes onto the scene, to be honest. You know, it's ruled by Leo and the sun, and it represents the natural blooming of your character in its most concentrated form, because it's in the 5th that the great test really involves the ability to act out one's innermost nature in terms of purity of motive. And this is the house of creativity, man, of drama, of fun, and of children. You understand? My moon is in the 5th house. I love the 5th house. And, you know, it's about outward positive release of one's energy. And it's here that, you know, you do your best shit, man, to be honest. And whatever sign it's on the cusp and planets in this house, they kind of show where your, you know, inner power lies creatively, or even how you portray yourself on the stage of life. Okay. And this is how you should really get your shine on. You feel me? The 5th is about your passion and what really stirs it. And, you know, if there's a malefic there like Saturn or the black moon Lilith, you know, it could represent, you know, how your enthusiasm is being repressed, or it could show what dark things that you might like to indulge in. And, you know, this is the realm of the eternal child. Understand that. And it speaks to how we have the most fun. It's all about how we have the most fun. So, when we're taking the black moon Lilith, man, and putting it in the 5th house, you know, I'm gonna keep it 1,000 with y'all right off the rip, man, and let it be known that this is actually one of the roughest, the roughest Lilith placements there is, because it's probably gonna add some really, really dark dynamics in the mix when it comes to their sexuality and, you know, to their pleasure and creativity and their relationships with kids too, man. And, you know, to be completely honest, there could even be, you know, a cruel theme going on with this, man, where it seems like almost all of life's pleasures and, you know, fun altogether either is denied to them, or, you know, when that shit does come, there's always some twisted ass catch to it, you know. And, you know, that just ain't fair. It just ain't fair, man. And is life? What would your mama tell you? You know. That's real, man. That's real, man. And let me also say that, you know, a fifth house Lilith, when I see that, man, you know, it pretty much just makes it hard for them to be carefree and enjoy themselves. That's something that's going to be a theme off the rip too. And understand that, you know, when Lilith's placed here, it can also indicate, you know, blockages or fears that are centered around the life areas of creativity and self-expression and the ability to have fun. For real, man. You know, something about it just don't feel as natural to them as it does to most folks. And that can cause issues. Or there's always the flip side, man. It could just so happen that this happens to be somebody who has integrated their shadow. And, you know, this could then be somebody that is strongly indicated who, you know, thoroughly enjoys exercising that Lilith energy. You know, this is a truly sexual creature, you know, who just, you know, feels empowered and free and letting that freak flag fly. You understand? Because they really know that darkness doesn't mean negativity. And, you know, that turns them on. But there's not going to be a lot that's going to integrate that. And it's going to be hard to do. Understand that. Because this is showing some issues around fun that's going to be painful. Your fun is going to be painful. That's deep. That's real deep, man. And looking even deeper into it, you know, when I see that this fifth house Lilith in somebody's chart, man, it tells me that they probably had to grow up real fast, man. And, you know, and that could be for all kinds of reasons. And we usually know the type of reasons why people are forced to grow up fast, man. It's trauma. Or it's loss and pain, man. And because of that, these are really the type of people who were robbed of that chance of having a healthy and innocent and real and free childhood, you know, and that's, like I said, because they had to meet pain, you know, from way too early on in life, which, you know, that kind of scarred their inner child. And it kind of either made them ashamed of wanting to just play and have fun, or due to the, you know, the influence of, you know, or experience of things that, you know, might be inappropriate, that the things that they do enjoy might be viewed as shameful or, you know, dark and nasty as some people. And that's a slippery slope in itself. And to be honest, either way you look at it, it can be rough, because due to whatever happened to them as kids, man, you know, Lilith here, right here, man, it kind of feels like they can never get the love and the joy that they truly desire deep down, no matter what the hell they do. You know, sure, they're kind of always grasping at straws. And, you know, not only that, you know, the fifth house is really also all about creativity. And when you put Lilith here, you know, you know, it can really stifle that. Just to be honest, man, because it suggests, you know, a paralyzing fear of expressing who they truly are. While also at the same time, you know, I've seen more than a few folks with this placement have a really incredibly hard time just going with the flow and following their heart when it comes to just about anything. Or, you know, I'm gonna give it to you right on the opposite end of the spectrum. You know, you could have somebody that might have an overcompensated Lilith in the fifth, and it could then manifest in somebody who really just lets their desires get way too out of control, to the point where, you know, they're putting themselves in really harmful situations, and it's extremely difficult to just find a balance between the two of them. That's something to always realize, man, and don't judge nobody, because you don't know nobody's struggle. Okay. And another thing, you know, is, you know, with the fifth house Lilith, you know, these people right here really have a desire to be praised and adored deep down, but they also feel like they don't deserve it at the same time. And, you know, that kind of says that they have a difficult time, you know, receiving attention and really knowing what to do with it. Or on the flip side, you know, a Lilith in the fifth could, you know, definitely make one an attention whore. You feel me? It could definitely manifest that way, man. And, you know, it could also, you know, have this person, you know, who's willing to do whatever it takes, you know, to get the eyes on them, even shameful things. That's what that could be saying, man. And whatever happened, either way that this manifested on either end of the spectrum, it probably stemmed from them having parents who shamed them for, you know, wanting attention or expressing themselves freely as kids, which really sucks for real if you had that type of stuff going on. That's abuse, whether you know it or not, man. And unfortunately, you know, more often than not, this placement is going to play out in the love life with these people more than anywhere else, because it really usually manifests in these people right here getting themselves, you know, involved in toxic ass love affairs over and over and over again. And let me tell you now, man, that if you're watching this and you have your Lilith in the 5th, man, then you know damn well that for you, love and sex, they can really be forms of self-destructive behaviors, man. And that could be whether you're entangling yourself with people that are, you know, already involved, or, you know, you have some other drama going on. You know, there's always some drama, or you're just fooling around with selfish people who don't appreciate you, or, you know, that try to not let you get your shine on, that kind of tell you that you ain't got what it takes, man. Narcissistic people that just are steadily sucking up your energy, man, and taking away from your light, which is what the 5th house is all about, your light. That's the sun there. You understand that, man? And this one can also indicate that, you know, that these people right here, their sexuality in some way is wounded, whether it be from, you know, being shamed for having desires when they were younger, or due to their innocence being stolen. You know, there's all kinds of ways that this could have played out, man. But there's definitely going to be something going on in that area of life, because a lot of folks with this placement are really usually extremely sexual and extremely seductive, man. But they probably don't experience any true pleasure from doing that shit themselves, man. And even that, you know, they might end up harming themselves more often than not doing that type of stuff, man. Let me also say that, you know, 5th house Lilith people have a real hard time knowing how to distinguish between sex, love, and trauma bonding. And, you know, that right there is just more and more drama. And in any case, that usually means that it's going to take some time for y'all to really experience sex and romance in a healthy way. So, hey, but it can be worked on. It's just the ability and the will to do it. And, you know, lastly, you know, it's kind of hard for me to say, but I'm going to be honest with this, because I'm always going to keep it true with y'all. You know, Lilith here could really, you know, mean a fear of having kids, because these folks often feel like they're not fit to care for a child. And, you know, in all fairness, it could also mean that, you know, they could have the loss of a child, or they could be having an abortion. But that's never a guarantee. And even if it don't play out any of the ways we spoke about, just because you built like that, you don't have to build like that, okay? You don't have to feed into any of that bullshit. You don't have to feed into any of that energy. What you do with it is what you do with it. And even beyond that, it's not about what you do. It's about how you do it. And that's some priceless knowledge in itself. And there's been some priceless knowledge of self. Hey, if you're interested in astrological readings whatsoever, you know, all you gotta do is hit me up in the comments below, or email me at mr.turner1300@gmail.com. Hey, y'all keep it true till next time.